Hello, students. I hope you've understood the story The Blue Bead by Nora Burke well, and today we'll discuss the extract based questions of your workbook. So, you can open your workbooks and refer to the extracts and follow the answers as I explain to you. So, the first question referring to the first extract. What tasks had Subbiah been doing during her childhood? Yes, my dear students, Subbiah had been husking corn, gathering sticks, and putting dung to dry. She even cooked food and weeded and carried and fetched water. She also cut grass for fodder during her childhood. So, this completes the answer. Next, why did she go with her mother and some other women? She went with her mother and some other women to get paper grass from the cliffs above the river, which could then be sold to an agent who would give them some revenue. This is how they earned money and then met their daily needs. Third, what did the women toil for the whole day? What did the agent do? Now, the answer could be the repetition that the women toiled for the whole day to earn a living for themselves by selling the paper grass to the agent. The agent would then arrange for the dispatch of the paper grass to the paper mills. What did Subbiah carry with her when she went with her mother? Subbiah carried a sickle and her homemade hay fork with her when she went with her mother to collect paper grass from the cliffs. Why could she not skip on the way back? Now, Subbiah, she could not skip on the way back while she was returning from the cliffs, because at that point her body would always ache with tiredness and there was also a great load to carry on her back as well. So she couldn't skip. What type of necklace were some of the women going with Subbiah and her mother wearing? So the answer to this is on page number 97 of your books. The first line of the page, some of the women were wearing necklaces made out of lal beeches, the shiny scarlet seeds, black one end, that grew everywhere in the jungle. So I hope you've understood these extract based questions well. Now we move to the next passage. Now referring to the next extract, the first question, where did the crocodile come to rest? The crocodile rested in the river, sunning himself sometimes with other crocodiles, the muggers, as well as the long-snorted fish-eating gharials on warm rocks and sandbanks. Why did the big crocodile lie motionless in the river? The big crocodile lay motionless in the river as it was trying to sun himself, or he was sunning himself and relaxing, what we call sunbath. It was also waiting for its prey to come to the river to drink water, and then it would attack. What did the big crocodile feed on? The big crocodile fed mostly on fish, but also on deer and monkeys that came to drink water from the river. Perhaps a duck or two, but sometimes here at the fords, he fed on a pie dog full of parasites or a skeleton of a cow. Next, why did the crocodile go down sometimes to the burning ghats? The big crocodile sometimes went down to the burning ghats as it would find the half-burnt bodies of some Indians cast into the stream, which he would then eat. What was a blue bead? The blue bead was sand-worn glass that had been rolling about in the river for a long time. It was, by chance, it was perforated right through the neck of a bottle, perhaps. So it was like pierced right through. It was a pierced blue bead. And it was later found by Subbiah after defeating the crocodile, who would then use the bead for her necklace. Now we move to the third extract. Now, referring to the third extract, the first question: what did the women pass by when they went towards the river? The women were going towards the river. They passed by a Gujar encampment of grass huts where these nomadic grazers would live until the time their animals had perhaps finished all the easy grazing within reach, and they would then move on. What did the Gujar women wear? The Gujar women wore trousers tight and wrinkled at the ankles. In the ear, they would wear large silver rings made out of melted rupees. Where had the Gujar men and boys gone? The Gujar men and boys had gone out of camp just then with the herd, or gone to the bazaar to sell their produce. The men and boys did not have a lot of hard work to do as compared to the Gujar women. So, my dear students, the Gujar women were much more hardworking than the men and the boys. Next, what did Subbiah notice about the buffaloes that the Gujar men left behind? Now, Subbiah, she noticed that one or two buffaloes that the Gujar men had left behind were standing about. And these were creatures of wet noses and moving jaws and gaunt black bones. This is how the author describes them. Why are the Gujars called junglis? Now, the Gujars, like Subbiah, are called junglis because they were born and bred in the forest. For countless centuries, their forebears had lived like this, getting their living from animals, from grass, and from trees, as they scratched their food together and stored their substance in large herds and silver jewelry. And they were man in the wandering pastoral age, not stone age hunters, and not yet cultivators. So the answer for this is there on page number 97, the last paragraph. The whole of it, children. Now the next extract, number 4. How had the ancestors of the Gujars been getting their living? The ancestors had been getting their living from animals, from grass and trees, as they scratched their food together and stored their substances in large herds and silver jewelry. How did the women cross the river? The women crossed the river by jumping from stones to stones. They gathered up their skirts and they clanked their sickles and forks together over their shoulders, just to have an ease of movement. In what mood did the women cross the river? While the women were crossing the river, they were laughing and joking and were asking about how each other's day went on. They were in a talkative and jolly mood. And they looked very happy, although they had toiled hard the whole day, because now they were returning home. What frightens the crocodiles? Why did the big crocodile not move? Crocodiles are frightened by noises, and the big crocodile did not move in fear while the women were crossing, as the women were very talkative and noisy. And so all of them crossed the river in safety to the other bank. This was one of the reasons how they landed up safe on the other bank, because they were so noisy, so talkative. What had the women to do at the grass? Name the different animals that lived in the river. The women had to climb a still hillside to get to the grass, and sliced away at it wherever there was a foothold to be had. And in the river there were kingfishers, great turtles lived there, mahseer, weighing more than 100 pounds, and also crocodiles sometimes. Next extract, number 5. First question. When did Subbiah put her load down on a boulder? When Subbiah was halfway through crossing the river, she kept her load down on a big boulder to rest and leaned, breathing on the fork, the hay fork. Why did a Gujar woman come with 2 gharas to the water on the other side of the river? A Gujar woman came with 2 gharas to the water on the other side of the river in order to get clear water, which would quickly fill both the gharas to the top without sand. So she wanted clear water without sand, so she came to the other side of the river where the water was clear. What happened when the Gujar woman was within a yard of the crocodile? When the Gujar woman was within a yard of the crocodile heaved out of the darkling water, the dark water, with water slashing off him, with his livid jaws yawning, slashing at her leg. So this is again there on page number 100, the 3rd paragraph. How the crocodile came out, of the water. What did the Gujar woman do to save herself? In order to save herself, the Gujar woman clenched to one of the timber logs which jammed between 2 boulders, and she kept screaming for help. She clung to it hard. What did the crocodile try to do after pulling her leg? After pulling her leg, the crocodile thrashed its mighty tail with a bang sound, to and fro in great smacking flails, as he tried to drag her free and then carry her off down into the deeps of the pool. So, my dear children, this answers again there on page number 100, and it's your 6th paragraph. So, you can mark and complete your workbook answers. Next passage. What did Subbiah do when she saw the woman being attacked by the crocodile? When Subbiah saw the woman being attacked by the crocodile, she leaped from boulder to boulder like a rock goat and aimed at the crocodile's eye, and then, with all her force, she drove the hay fork at its eyes. What did Subbiah aim at to harm the crocodile? She aimed at the crocodile's eyes with her hay fork, and with all her body's force, she drove the hay fork at its eyes, with one prong going right in, while its pair scratched past on the horny cheek. So one part of the fork of that fork, one prong went right inside the eye, and the other scratched the cheek, the bony cheek, the horny cheek of the crocodile. What happened to the crocodile after he was attacked by Subbiah? So obviously, children, after he was attacked by Subbiah, the crocodile reared up in pain till half of his lizard body was out of the river, the tail and nose nearly meeting over his strong back. See how curled up he was because he was in intense pain. When would the crocodile die? The crocodile would die not then, but soon, though its death would not be known for days, not till his stomach filled with gas floated him on the river. What did Subbiah do to bring her out of the water? How did Subbiah deal with her wounds? Subbiah got her arms around the fainting woman and somehow managed to drag her out of the water. She stopped her wounds with sand and bound them with rags and helped her go home to the Gujar encampment. This is how she helped the Gujar woman. She saved the Gujar woman. Next extract. Where did Subbiah take the wounded Gujar woman? She took the wounded Gujar woman to the Gujar encampment where the men made a litter to carry her. A litter is a kind of a thing which is a support made for the injured people so that they can be easily carried. To carry her to someone that could help her to heal her wounds. So she thought of this. What did Subbiah want to pick up from the water? She wanted to pick her hay fork from the water. What did she pick up and what did she see there in the water? As she bent to pick it up from the river, she saw the blue bead in the water, which she then picked up for her necklace. Where did she keep the blue bead? Subbiah twisted the blue bead into the top of a skirt against her tummy. She then picked up her hay fork and sickle and the heavy grass and set off to home, happily singing, "What a day, what a day." What was Subbiah's mother apprehensive about? Now, apprehensive here means what fear did she have in her mind, Subbiah's mother? What did Subbiah tell her mother? Subbiah's mother was apprehensive about what had happened to Subbiah, as till that time Subbiah hadn't reached her home. And when she reached, she saw that Subbiah was not there behind her. So she was worried. What did Subbiah tell her mother? Now, when Subbiah's mother asked her if something had happened, she told her that something did happen. And she said that she had found a blue bead for her necklace in the river. She really did not feel like, or she did not felt important to tell her mother that she had saved the life of a Gujar woman, because the blue bead lay much more importance for her than saving the life. She never gave it a thought that she had done such a brave deed, but rather finding a blue bead was her true success. Now, children, this is all for the extract based questions. Two more questions I have just given there, which you can listen to. And regarding the theme of the story, I've already discussed in the previous video the theme of the story, but I'll take it back again in short today. So the theme is, first one could be, where there is a will, there is a way. Now Subbiah, who was just about 12 years of age, She had the will to drive the hay fork into the reptile's eyes, and she could do it. She could, kill the crocodile, literally hurt the crocodile, and just save the Gujar woman's life. Then another theme could be the struggle for survival. Now see how people who are so poor, now Subbiah depicts extreme poverty and faced a lot of hardships, and all such women who belong to the forest actually face a lot of hardships, and survival is a big struggle for them, where they don't have proper roads, they don't have proper things, fuel for fire, and they also live in the eyes of the serious health hazards. They have a lack of basic facilities, which tends to subdue their invincible human spirit. So now about a few examples of irony in the story. Now this is very important, children. So there is an instance of irony when Subbiah, while coming back home after collecting paper grass, sees a Gujar woman being attacked by a crocodile. And the first thing that crosses her mind is not the danger posed by the crocodile, but the loss of 2 vessels used up for filling the water. So she's more concerned that she's going to lose those 2 vessels. This depicts how valuable such vessels were for them in a condition as poor as theirs. There's another example of irony, which is in the last sentence of the story. On way back home, Subbiah meets her mother, and as readers, we expect her to describe her fight with the crocodile. But instead of that, she mentions only the blue bead that she found. So this is ironical. So this is all for today. Complete all the workbook questions as a part of your assignment and revise your chapter well.